Are you looking for new free science fiction and fantasy books to get you through this holiday weekend? We've got them. Today we'll be reviewing the top 5 best-selling free science fiction and fantasy books on Amazon. Yes, free. Happy Black Friday. The top book is a space opera about a young man with a very particular set of skills. But before we get into that, everybody, welcome back to the MetaStellar YouTube channel. My name is KOROLOV. I'm the editor here at MetaStellar. Every single Friday, our team reads the first few chapters of the books on top of Amazon's free sci-fi and fantasy list. Today, I was helped by reviews editor Amira Lutfi, but it's the holidays, so it's just me here today on camera talking to you. Hi, everybody. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. The link to the article and to all the books is in the description box below. For those who are new to our channel, MetaStellar is an online magazine of speculative fiction. All the content is always free to our readers. We publish original short fiction, reprints, excerpts, essays, and lots of book reviews. We're able to do this and keep all our content completely free thanks to our Patreon supporters. And our second anthology is out. Here it is. And so, oh my God, there's a bug on it. That's how you can tell I'm not an AI, because I've got bugs on my books. This is our first anthology from the first year, and this is anthology for the second year that came out this summer. Where'd the bug go? The bug's on me. Wow, that was exciting. All right, okay. Let's get into the books. An AI wouldn't do that, right? Okay, so the fifth book. The number 5 top-selling free science fiction and fantasy book on Amazon today is Monstrous Cravings. There's the cover by Ember, Nicole, the first of 2 books in the cherished Omegaverse sci-fi romance series. The other book is normally $4, but it's on sale today for 99 cents and is also in Kindle Unlimited. Kindle Unlimited is where you pay $12 a month and you read all the books you want. It's a really good deal if you don't mind getting everything through the Amazon, Kindle store. So if that's okay with you, really good deal. I'm in it because I read a lot of books. Okay, so first, before we get started, I'm not a fan of romance. I'm not a fan of monster romance. I prefer my monsters stabbed with something pointy. So I'm probably not the target audience for this book. So the book starts with Arden, who's the protagonist, and she's staring down the barrel of a handgun. And at first I was like, yes, shoot that handgun, shoot it. But it turns out it's not her handgun. She's being mugged, and it's the mugger's handgun. And he takes her purse, and there's nothing in it because she's not a particularly high-paid employee at her job. And the mugger's really mad. He takes her coat from her, and there's nothing in the pockets, and she's about to get killed. But before that happens, a monster shows up from the back of the alley and swallows the guy whole, and then swallows her up as well. I'm like, okay. So what happens next? She wakes up in a golden cage, hanging high off the floor, in a room that's so big she can't even see the ceiling, and she has no idea what's going on, obviously. Then we switch to the point of view of one of these monsters, because there are 3 of them, and we find out what's happening. So it seems that there's a portal connecting Earth to other worlds, and the portals were created by an old race. They're gone. Nobody knows who they are anymore. But these 3 monsters were following the scent of a woman who would become their mate. They haven't found their mate yet. There are other women of their species around, and they're the 3 of them are kind of dating one, but they're not really, true mates with her or anything. They're still looking for their true mate, and they think that this woman they kidnapped from an alley is their true mate. But on the other hand, she is human. She doesn't look like one of them. Maybe she's not their true mate. And the way you can tell is after you meet your true mate, if you don't bond, I guess have sex with them, soon afterwards, you die. So they're going to leave her there and see if they start getting sick or not. That's their plan. So that's the premise. It's very, very cheesy, and it promises to be very sexually explicit. It's also very readable. Will I stick with it? I'm not admitting anything. Moving on. Book number 4, The Magelands Epic by Christopher Mitchell, a box set of the first 4 books in the Magelands Epic fantasy series, which has 8 books total in it. The other books are $5 each, and they are in Kindle Unlimited. And we've reviewed this author before, and this author has been on our list a couple of times in addition to that. Amira Lutfi read this one, and she says that there's a place called Star Continent with 5 regions on it, each with 5 different types of humanoids. 3 of them descended from apes, 1 from amphibians, and 1 from reptiles. And Shella belongs to the group descended from reptiles. And this family is a large family because they tend to have a lot of babies. And they're suffering from overpopulation and intrusive government policies. And citizens need a license to have children. And they also don't have a choice of careers. Shella has magical abilities. And even though she's lazy, she's forced to work as a flow mage at the local sewage and waterworks plant. And she's unhappy with this, and she'd rather be alone somewhere by herself. And she's tempted by a high-paying offer from the government to work on a project. So Amira says she enjoyed reading this. She loves the world building. It's certainly a very unique sounding world. Amira says it's an epic fantasy. And so she's interested in seeing how Shella will evolve and embrace challenges. And she doesn't want to leave her family. She loves them. And so it's gonna be interesting, Amira says, to see how all that works out. She says she will stick with this book. She wants to know how the story unfolds, what the other races and regions are like. It's exactly her kind of story. She enjoys a blend of novelty and plot and various literary devices. So she would be buying this even if it wasn't free today. Next, another book that I read, Rozar by Sue Mercury, the first of 6 books in the Vaxlian Alien Mail Order Brides, a sci-fi romance series. The other books are $3 each, and they're not on Kindle Unlimited. Author's first time on our list. So again, I'm not a target audience. So the beginning is promising. Nadia is in the witness protection program. So I'm hoping maybe she was a murderer for the mob. But no, she wasn't. She was married to the boss of the mob. She testified against him. And for the past 5 years, she's been living in fear of her life, expecting a hitman to show up any moment, because while her ex-husband is in jail for life without parole, some of his other henchmen did not get caught and may still be looking for her. So she lives in absolute fear. She'd love to get off the planet, but she can't afford a ticket on a spaceship off. So she's very intrigued by an offer from the Vaxlian Mail Order Brides dating agency. So they're looking for women to become life mates of lonely Vaxlian warriors, as long as they're willing to relocate to the planet New Vax. So it seems that there's been a war, women have been killed, and so these Vaxlian warriors are looking for brides. Of course they are. So then we switch to the point of view of one of these alien warriors, Rosar, and he and 500 other unmated Vaxlian warriors have flown to Earth on a spaceship looking for women, and he's really excited to be meeting his mate because they have arranged marriages on their world and people made for life. Now then we switch back to Nadia. She's all packed, ready to go, but she's very, very anxious about being married off-site unseen to this alien. She can decide against it if she wants to. She's got 2 weeks to make a final decision. And then the alien shows up at the door. He's holding a big bouquet of flowers. He's instantly attracted to her. He wants to sleep with her right away and then take her back to his home planet. And she's like, wait, let's talk a little bit first. She wants to get to know him, although she thinks he's drop dead gorgeous as well. And yeah, so this also promises to be sexy. And this is also very cheesy, even cheesier than that previous book. So if you're looking for something very, very cheesy and very sexy to read this weekend, check it out. It's free. Next, we have Forged of Fire by Stacy von Haegert, the first of 2 books in the Forged series of fantasy romance. The other book is $7, but it's in Kindle Unlimited, and this is the author first time on our list. So yes, as I mentioned before, I prefer murder or mayhem. So the fantasy romance part of it kind of worries me, but it begins with mayhem and it continues with mayhem. So it looks like there might be a little romance, but it's further down the line, and its primary thing that's happening is like plot stuff, and a lot of plot stuff. So in the prologue, we are nearly 800 years BC, and a woman walks into a pool of lava with her 2 sons looking on, and she's surrounded by priests and warriors and the king's son, and she takes off her robe and she's thrown naked into the lava, and then a bunch of magical stuff happens, lightning and stuff like that, and we don't know if the woman has died or not. I mean, probably she was thrown into lava, but who knows? I mean, this is magical stuff happening. Then in chapter 1, we're in the present in Italy, and we meet Ash, who's been around for over 1,000 years. He used to be human, but now he's something called a fire dancer. He has the ability to magically manipulate fire, and he's been immortal since he turned 25 and is enormously wealthy. So every decade or so, he creates a new business, builds it up, and then sells it off. His current company is now 11 years old, so he's looking for someone to sell it off to before people start asking uncomfortable questions about how he's able to look so young. And then he learns that there's a woman who can manipulate both water and fire, and she has the same name as Ash's mother, and she's guarded by an angel. So was Ash's mother the woman who walked into lava? Was he one of her sons watching this happen? I don't know. I guess we'll find out later on. Then we switch to the point of view of someone named Stefan. He's trying to keep a clumsy redheaded woman alive. This is the same woman that Ash has just found out about, so Stefan must be the angel, and yes, he is. Then this is in New Orleans. Then a vampire shows up and follows the woman down the street. Stefan steps in and kills the vampire in a particularly gruesome way, which I like. So I like this book. I might stick with it. A lot of action here. We also learn that there might be a war brewing. There's various factions and various magical beings fighting with each other. A lot of juicy stuff happening that's not romance related, which I appreciate very, very much. So I might stick with the book. Good stuff. Before we go on to the number 1 book on today's list, I want to thank our Patreon supporters. Lorena Warnock, Janet Stilson, Lucas, Sophie Gorjans, Marie Leclerc, Alexander, KOROLOV, Avery Parks, Terrence Smith, Brad Center, David Perlmutter, Anastasia KOROLOV, and Mira Lutfi. Thank you guys. We love you. We wouldn't be able to exist without you. And now on to book number 1, Fractured Empire by A.K. DuBoff. And you get 7 books here. A whole 7 books. The complete Cadical series. But and it's part of the Cadical universe, so there's several other series in this universe. The other box sets are $10 each, but one of them, Mindspace, is on sale today for 99¢. But all of them are in Kindle Unlimited. So if you love space operas and you like free books, definitely check this out. Space operas are my genre. So I'm very excited about this. I love the covers. I love anything with a spaceship on them. And we meet Chris. He's 16. He's training with his sparring tutor, and he's using his telepathic powers to improve his fighting abilities, so you can kind of see what the other guy's going to do before he does it. Now, his father, who's a ruler of a family empire or a business of some kind, interstellar trading, I think, Chris is the heir to this empire because his older brother has died, who was supposed to be the heir. And so he doesn't have a really good relationship with his parents because they miss his older brother. And all he wants to do is get away from the family. He wants to get away from the whole planet. And he's interested in joining something called the Terrarian Selective Service, which has a whole division dedicated to honing the abilities of gifted individuals. And on his planet, there's a priesthood that is opposed to people with telepathic skills. And his father says that one of their priests wants to talk to him. So a little bit more motivation for Chris to get out of there. So I like Chris very much. He's taking control of his own destiny. He plans ahead. He sneaks out of the family compound, evades the guards, figures out a way to fly a shuttle off the planet. It's the first time he's been off-world by himself. He talks his way into a job on a cargo ship as a navigator. Fortunately, he's got the skills he needs. I like this book. This is definitely one I will be sticking with this weekend. All right. If any of this was useful to you, please leave a like or comment in the comments below. Let us know if you're going to be reading one of these books or if you have read them. And if you want to make sure not to miss any of our Free Friday articles, so you can sign up to our newsletter. And if you want to make sure not to miss any of our videos, you can subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me today. I hope to see you again next Friday. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye, everybody. And let's see if I can figure out how to turn this off. Oh, there's the off button. Yeah. All right, bye, guys.